Hello everyone, today JoJolion chapter 104 released, and I was right on it. I went on Twitter, I saw Aeon start tweeting spoilers, so I went and read the chapter myself when I was in biology class. It was a great chapter, and I'm not gonna lie, it's probably the best of the year. I'm gonna say it, because there's only one chapter out this year so far. Anyways, jumping right into the chapter, the title page is this awesome artwork of Morio with a bunch of head doctors. There's 5 head doctors, 1 in the foreground, 4 in the background, walking all over Morio. And the text says, unheard of calamities approach. So, there we go with that. And I think we can see the Higashikata estate in there, unless we can't. I don't know. Anyways, page 1 starts off with the aftermath of the attack last month, and it says, what is the true identity of the invisible soap bubbles? So this is kind of an upgrade to Josuke's ability, and we're seeing the cane is breaking, it's flying, but Josuke is just looking badass, and he's still going for those Lokakaka vials to piss off the head doctor, Toru, and he realizes that he's making a bubble. And you know what? We see something shoot out of that cloud, right? You see that? It shoots out. Remember that. So the head doctor Wonderview is completely shocked that he actually got hit. He's still really in shock. We see a quote from Mamazuku seeing his dead body. He is completely dead at this point. There is no question about it, at least for me. It says, Josuke, your soft and wet soap bubbles have something about them even you haven't realized, because it's because of spinning lines that they form spherical soap bubbles, and within that are things you cannot see. So really, it doesn't matter about the threads. The threads are an afterthought. What matters is the center, the ooey gooey chewy nougat in the center that we really want to know about. The threads are last year's revelation. Now we get a better look at the head doctor's injury. It seems to be a hole in his hat, which is actually his head. His hat is his head. That's, I guess, just part of him. I don't know. He says, this cannot be. This world follows an interconnected chain of logic. Regardless of what stand ability you have, to overcome that chain of logic and launch an attack that touched me is simply Josuke. That last Josuke was Kei talking, of course. We hear her heartbeat. And then we hear the head doctor's inner monologue. The act of pursuing me is certain to become a severe disaster that is sent back to the attacker. That is because the flow of calamity is the flow of reason. The logic of this world is linked together in a continuous chain. To overcome that and reach me is not possible. I came here to give you... Again, Kei speaking at the end there. She's holding the phone. And it is revealed that Kei Nijimura has died. She is dead. She has the cane into the eye. And now the first thing I thought when I saw this was Walking Dead. Carl got shot in the eye and he survived. Can this be like the same thing? Is she going to survive? And I have a very telling piece of evidence that says no, she is in fact dead on scene. That is why he says, Kei Nijimura! And she says, to give you this, as in the phone. And he's shocked, and she falls over, and we see that her stand, Born This Way, starts crumbling. That is the sign of a death. That is the sign that you have died, basically. And we see this amazing double-page spread with, tragically, Rai Mamazuku and Kei Nijimura side by side, dead. Her last words are, it's from Yasuo-chan. And we see a better shot of Born This Way disappearing, and we hear some more of the Wonder of You's inner monologue. It is absolutely not possible. Overcoming the flow of calamity, wonder of you, simply cannot happen. But if something that does not exist in this world does exist somewhere, if there perhaps exists something that is not affected by the logic of this world, they're spinning, you say. Could it be the soap bubbles? And then we see Toru. It says, the soap bubbles. Could it be? We see Toru, he reaches up to his head, looks at his fingers, and screams. I was about to scream, but I'm not going to do that to your ear holes. Basically, this is such a good moment in my mind, showing that Toru has that ability to be hurt, and he's very human because he sees his own blood. It's implied that he's never been injured before in his life. Seriously, like maybe like a self-inflicted like paper cut or whatever, but that book gets destroyed instantly. He's never been injured this hard, this much. So when he sees his blood, he screams. Like, that's scary to him. That's impossible. That to him, that's not even a possibility. So he is very freaked out by that. But it shows another facet of his character because next page, he is cold, calm, and collected again, even though Yasuo knows that he just screamed like a little bitch, which I can't blame him. He has a hole in his head. And that brings up another question. How bad is his injury? Is it actually a hole in the head like the head doctor's hat? Or is it just a scrape off the side of his head? We won't know until, I guess he's dead maybe? But like Wonder of You is missing a sizable chunk of his head. That's why I'm wondering, because Toru is functioning really normally, and he's functioning more than he has in the past chapters. He's still going. And we cut back to Josuke now. Paisley Park is able to enter out of the phone, I guess exit through the phone, and now is at the hospital, giving Yasuo that line of sight, basically. And she explains, that stand, that attack from the head doctor, I know who its user is. It's Toru-kun. I'm in the mountains behind the Higashikata estate right now. He's in front of me as we speak. The user who attacked the Higashikata family with calamities was Toru-kun too. He's been near me since a long time ago. For over 10 years, he's been hanging around somewhere close to me as a high school student, at a camp I attended as a college student, and then working part-time at the hospital. He impersonated a doctor to pose as TG University Hospital's head doctor. The head doctor and the enemy stand are one and the same. He's been keeping that charge up for a long time now. And then we see Josuke remember stuff. He remembers poor Tom, and then he remembers the van that Toru was in, and he remembers Toru being nice and close to Yasuo. And I can feel like it's akin to this is dark. This is gonna get real dark, real quick. Trigger warning, but it's akin to a pedophile you've noticed has been hanging around your kid. To Josuke, I think that's like as triggering as that. Like he realizes that this creep, this absolute scumbag, has been hanging around his girl and creeping on her, who just killed a bunch of his friends, and he doesn't even know his family because the Higashikata, some of them have died. It's just not good. So Yasuo continues, if we kill the user, then these calamities will end, which is what the community has been saying for a long time now. And we see the head doctor. He goes, Then he turns around, hops off the desk, and just walks away, to Josuke's shock. And we cut back to Toru saying, as for eliminating Josuke, I'm calling it off. Josuke has been quite a nuisance to me. He may even be a threat. I'd very much like to finish him off right now, but I'm giving up on him. The flow of calamity will continue uninterrupted, but my stand is leaving. It's intuition. I can't quite say what caused it, but I sense danger in getting involved with them right now. Bro, what caused it was you seeing your own blood for the first time, buddy. You saw it and you went, holy shit, dog! I ain't fucking with him. And got the fuck out of there. You just got out of there. Don't even bullshit, Toru. Like, you just got out of there because you saw your own blood. Anyways, moving on, next page, Toru continues. What really matters is making sure I get my hands on that new Rokakuga. I'll collect just that one pot, and then I will vanish from this place and from the TG University Hospital. Safety first, and that is my goal after all. Yasuo-chan, give that newer Kakaga to me. So, no, he doesn't want it for money. That is completely unrelated to what he wants, which is completely interesting. Toru keeps getting deeper and deeper for me every month. It's really insane. He's gonna leave being a doctor. He's gonna leave town. He's gonna get out of their hair. And if I had to guess where he's going to go, I'd guess Papua New Guinea, somewhere in Southeast Asia, due to the fact that that's where the rock humans, some of the rock humans in his ring have been imported from. Next page, he says, don't get any closer to that pot. I'm taking it into my possession. And then, of course, Yasuo knows she's already got she's got something trained on her. She's not like afraid of anything new coming at her. So she bends down to grab the pot and says, Josuke, run! He left the room! Like, that's news to him. Like, Josuke's like, I just saw him leave. Yeah, I know, I saw him. And it's interesting that the stand didn't just go away. It has to leave the room. And we'll see later in the chapter that it's still in the building. It didn't just fade away like we knew that older stands could do. So we see an image of Josuke's arm being grabbed by Kei, being grabbed by Rai, and this is a total like dream. He's basically inheriting the will. That's him inheriting the will of Kei and of Mamazuku, and he kind of grabs them, and we hear Mamazuku's words. Josuke, listen. If the head doctor is attempting to leave the room right now, there's a reason for that. He feels a sense of danger coming from you. It's because he understood what's going on. The head doctor is hiding himself. It's because of those invisible things of yours. All that's there is spin. You haven't realized it yourself, but some of those soap bubbles, use them to defeat him. Control. Josuke says. Even if there are invisible things, I can't control them. And if I pursue the head doctor for even an instant, more effects of calamity will appear for Yasuo-chan and the members of the Higashikata family. And then we hear a direct quote from Rai. These lines are spinning. It's because they don't exist in this world that they can surpass it. They can surpass his ability. I'm sure of it. So is Josuke interacting with the original universe here? It could be could be just another alternative universe, but it definitely could be the actual original universe. And does that mean the Rokakaka has universal abilities to transcend universes? And does this make Josuke kind of a multi-universal level being that can attack you through universes or surpass logic itself? All questions, all really good questions. And then right now the head doctor is fleeing to take shelter from you. Toru is scared. He is you will never be able to convince me that that scream was not a pure terror at seeing the sight of his own blood. Yasuo continues, just what is going to happen to me, Toru-kun? And then Toru continues, calamities make no distinctions between right and wrong. Even I don't honestly know what's going to happen to you, but the one thing is for certain that very soon you will die now, so that new Rokakaka doesn't get swept up in calamity, and that's pretty important. You need to give it to me. Basically, because we know the plane panel is heading for her, basically he's like, give me the pot so it doesn't die with you. And then Yasuo, please. And then we get Joshu. He comes in, he's like, hey, who the hell even are you? What hole did you crawl out of? And what'd you think you're doing upsetting Yasuo-chan like that? Also, you were off talking to Yasuo-chan all casual like that. Anybody that talks to Yasuo-chan like that is my enemy. And then Toru speaks for the whole community when he says, you just sit down. Why don't you just take a nap or just sit there bewildered in silence? Yo, oh, my man just got roasted into oblivion. Toru's an awesome character, man. I love him. He's so cool. He continues, and most of all, you better not get any ideas about coming towards me. Yo, he didn't get any ideas about coming towards me. Joshu never gets any ideas. He just lunges with one of those crazy looks. That means I'm gonna kill you, you goddamn asshole! And then we see, They look up and they see the plane panel flying. Everyone sees it, even Toru. What is that? It looks like something huge is falling from the sky. Oh, I love Toru. He's all casual. He's like, Oh. Far away Toru faces are always the best. And Yasuo starts freaking out because, well, she's found her calamity. And then Toru's like, Yasuo-chan, it looks like that's it. Now, give me the Rokakaka. Get away from that pot right now. He's like, okay, that's your death. Come on, get out of here. Go. Like, the dark comedy in this part of the story is unreal. I can't even describe it. It's so good. And then Joshu continues, you get away, asshole. Don't you dare lay your grimy paws on Yasuo-chan. And a single leaf cuts off one of his fingers and severely cuts another, which leaves it basically hanging there. And he's like, huh? And he realizes and he screams out in pain. He knocks over Yasuo, which lets Toru get away with what's remaining, and you can see there's still blood dripping down from him. He says, farewell, Yasuo-chan. Everything ends. After everything ends, all will remain. Our dreams and memories. And then she screams into the phone, Josuke! He just took the new Rokakaka! And something's falling from the sky and heading towards me! Josuke, he's getting away! You have to take him down! Your only choice is to pursue the head doctor. That is a bold statement. We've been told for, I think, 20 chapters at this point not to pursue the head doctor. That's the big rule, is never pursue the head doctor. So he says, Yasuo-chan, wait right there. Stay on the phone. And he gets out his little finger gun, his spirit gun, and spinning, we can hear it. And he's like, I'll take him down right here. And then he's trying to control it. And is that him glitching? That's an interesting panel. He's glitching. I don't know if that's just the website I'm using, or guys can tell me in the comments about that. These things you can't see, Josuke. They're different from this visible soap bubbles at your fingertips. They're something that does not exist in this world, but the fact that they don't exist means they can go beyond reason. They can even overcome a curse. They can break the Higashikata's family's curse, and Holly-san's too. And then, so breaking down that real quick, it's not the fruit that's going to break the curse. it doesn't matter. Toru might actually get away. It doesn't matter what happens, because what matters is that Josuke is the curse cure. So we see this is the final page of the chapter. I'm going to be reading the head doctor's stuff right now. It's no use, Josuke. For me, this is simply an evacuation drill. Who would have thought that a disaster could have an evacuation drill? Heh, this is goodbye. And Josuke shoots the bubble at him, and then there's something that comes off his birthmark. It's the birthmark. That's the power. That is the power, is the birthmark. It transcends all reality, because the text at the bottom, the preview text, says that birthmark, it is coming from there. Now, look at what happens. There's like a cloud around it or whatever. Go back to the beginning of the chapter. That happened. You can see that same effect. I don't know if it's just a bubble or whatever, but that actually happened at the beginning of the chapter. You can see that there is a cloud and something with a trail like that goes through the cloud. Now, is this just a normal bubble? Maybe, and probably, honestly, yeah. But is it different than that? Maybe, and honestly, probably, yeah. So, we're done with the chapter. What do we do now? Well, I just want to address the Kay stuff. Kay is dead. That is most likely what is going to happen. If she was still alive or clinging to life, she would probably have her stand still active, or at least it wouldn't have disintegrated the way that it did. Unfortunately, I think this is the end for one of the best girls in JoJolion. A lot of people must be sad today. And that's actually going to do it for me, guys. If you like this video, check me out on Twitter at Falsecraft. Check me out on YouTube. Check out some of my other videos. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, like, and have a good day. And have fun reading this chapter if you haven't already. I don't know why you'd watch this video and not read the chapter, but yeah, have a good day, guys. Peace.